All right, so today I'm working on a little project that came about because I was in Target and I was walking around like the clearance section, which is so different anymore. Anyway, and I found these napkins. And I love them. They were on clearance for $1.50. Oh, this one was $2.10. The other ones were $1.50. They were all $1.50 because they all ring up at $1.50. So this one just wasn't marked. But anyway, so there were these 3 different patterns. And you can do so much with napkins. I've actually made Christmas ornaments out of napkins. And the thing you want to look for are, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't like using these kinds of napkins like to wipe things up. They're almost like a thick paper, but this is exactly the kind of napkin, you want for projects like this, because they're thicker than like your cheaper napkins, which are, I feel like they're better. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? They're better for picking up messes or wiping things up. But these they don't soak in. I don't know if that makes sense. But, and these, are these threshold? I don't even know. Yeah, so these are threshold ones. A couple years ago, I got some in the Hearth and Hand section that were kind of the same thing. I don't love them as napkins, but they're perfect for this. So anyway, so they're kind of papery, but thicker papery, but yet they're kind of like fabric. I don't even know what I'm saying. But you guys know that I love green, and I really loved this pattern. The blue is pretty, kind of the same pattern in a light blue, and then this looks like fall to me. So I grabbed them all. And I think I'm going to just use the dark green because I love it so much. But I'm just going to kind of share what I'm doing here. You guys, this couldn't be easier. So basically, I tried to do this in stages so I can kind of show you what you're doing. But basically, this is what you're going to get. The pumpkin was like this. Not very fun. I mean, a white pumpkin, it's okay. Now, I'm going to tell you that this pumpkin I got back when I was doing Chocolate Tour. So this was part of their stuff. I had a few left over. I wasn't using them like this, but I really like this, this pattern. So, but you can find pumpkins that are like this at your thrift stores easily. You can even go into like the Dollar Tree and find pumpkin shapes that are cut out. They may have Happy Halloween, or they may have, a fall, whatever. They may be painted already. Those are all okay. You can still use those. I find these flat pumpkin just shapes at the thrift store all the time. Usually they're painted or they've got some design on them, but definitely as long as they're flat here, there's no, decorative hot glue or anything like that on it that would make the napkin raised, they're good to go. You're fine. You could even, if you brought them home, if somebody had painted on them, like they weren't like manufactured or made with something on them, you know what I mean? You could just run some sandpaper over them to just make sure they're super smooth, and then you're good to go. So basically all I do, and I mean, I've had Mod Podge before, but I don't think you really have to, go invest in special glue. So I just use school glue. I always have, we've always, I mean, when the kids were little, I always had school glue on hand for all the projects we would do. And so I would just use that. Now, school glue can be, I mean, it can get, it's kind of thick. So I have Gabrielle's little water dish here that she uses for her paints. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything over so that I can kind of reach it a little bit better. You guys can still see what I'm doing. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of dip the paint into the water. And then I'm just going to come here on the edge of this glue and kind of thin it out a bit. I don't want it like water, but I don't want it like the thick glue. And the only reason I don't want it like the thick glue is because it can sometimes, if it's too thick, it can tear your napkin. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate that it does depend on the napkins you get. You can definitely get thinner napkins that, you know, you just have to be super careful because they can really rip and tear easily. So you just kind of, these are just a little bit more forgiving. It's not that you can't do it with the other ones, but they're just, you might go through a few more napkins just trying to figure out the, oh, I'm going to cut that off. I forgot to do that part. Just trying to figure out the, you know, what you need your glue at for the napkin you have. If it was a thinner napkin, I would probably even want to water down this glue a little bit more. Okay, so basically, I mean, how easy. The kids can do this with you, right? And you could use any shape. This could be pumpkins, acorns, just a circle, just a whatever. I mean, obviously, if you went into Hobby Lobby, Michael's, all those craft stores, you can find pumpkin forms or whatever. I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So this one, it's kind of done, but I'm going to cut, okay, you can see. I'm just going to cut this off. And you can kind of see what I did. Oh, that's weird. I didn't cut through the top layer. Can you guys kind of see this? So what I did is I kind of, okay, you see how shiny that is? Yeah, you can kind of see. What I kind of did was just blot this, not very fancy, just to get some excess glue off, because I'm finding with this, I need less glue. You could let it sit there. It's actually cool this morning. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's only supposed to get to 71 today. So I have the window open here in front of me, but so if I'm not gonna be able to let it sit here because I'm here on this live. So I'm just kind of dabbing that. Now I'm just kind of pushing that glue all around. Just since I dabbed it, it's just kind of splotchy a little bit. Just want to make sure everything's covered. Now, I did not want to do my sides. You could definitely paint the sides. You could definitely wrap the napkin around if you wanted to. I'm making it easy on myself and I'm not going to do that. These do kind of have a thicker base, so they are able to stand up on their own. So I didn't want any of the napkins to like ruin that, so I couldn't do that. So you can see these napkins have folds in them. You obviously do not want that. I have the hardest time sometimes with these designs to figure out what's up or down. And you know what? I don't think it matters. I'm just going to do it this way. So what you want to do is, first of all, this is, you know, so you open your napkin and you could get a couple of pumpkins or what it forms out of one napkin, depending on how big they are. So I am just going to kind of use this top corner because I don't want to waste more of the napkin than I need to. And what you want to do is don't put it all the way down. You want to pull that crease out. So as I'm laying it down with my left hand, oops, I'm pulling, can you see, with my right to get that crease out of the, I'm gonna stand up here, to get the crease, you guys see what I'm doing? Okay, out, and it comes right out. You just have to pull it kind of taut. This one's bigger than my last pumpkin, so I'm getting a couple of creases. So I just want to pull it taut as I'm laying it down. Does that make sense? And you can find napkins in all, you know, designs, colors. And this is kind of a flowery, but I liked it. I like the green background. So, and it's gonna work just fine for fall. It's kind of got an orange and yellow color in there. So see, as I'm going all the way around here, I just want to pull that napkin a little bit. Now with a thinner napkin, this is the part that might get a little bit where it might tear. And for $1.50, if I tear this, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You just start over. It's not a big deal. So here, since I've done this so many times on different projects, like I said, I've done Christmas stuff. I've done with these napkins, especially like this brand, the more you like touch it when the glue is wet, the more the actual, like the color will come out. Does that make sense? So you you want to pull it taut, get it on there, and then let it go. When I get it on there the way I like it, those creases are all out. I am barely touching this. I don't know if you can tell that. But what I want to do is I want to go around these edges of the pumpkin, and I kind of want to put a little bit more pressure on it. I just kind of want to, like, so you can see the definition of the pumpkin. Can you guys see that? Okay, yeah, you can see. So you see this line here? I want to kind of put more pressure just along that edge before I just let it sit. Kind of go up here around the stem. Try not to drop my camera. Okay. Where is that? This stem is a little different than that one. But I still want to just make sure I got all of those edges outlined. Or you know what I mean? You can see the outline of the edge. And now, okay, the bigger the pumpkin, the more finagling it needs. This one was a lot easier. The bigger the shape, whatever you're doing. Okay, I'm just gonna leave this go. And I would let this sit for like, I did this one, I let it sit for like overnight. I went and I had other stuff to get done, so I just let it sit. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna set that to the side. You've let that sit for a while. So I would highly recommend, if you're using some napkins like this, get some good fabric scissors. I've shared this story before, but it's so funny when things like come full circle. I remember being little and my mom had sewing scissors, and these are fabric scissors. And sewing scissors, that's what we just call them. So fabric scissors. And they were the best scissors in the house, right? So those are the ones I'd grab because they'd cut really good. And my mom used to get so mad because it would dull the blade. Then she'd go to like actually use it for fabric and it wouldn't work. Same thing happens to me with my kids. They will grab this pair of scissors. I only have one pair. And I'm like, don't use that on paper. I so get it now. My poor mom. Okay, anyway, so what you're gonna do is once you let this sit, you know, it's on there. And what I did is, depending on your fabric scissors, depending on the shape you're using, I was able to, I'm sorry, I kind of have to stand up just to, you guys don't need to see me. You want to see what, okay, so I'm able to get really close to the edge. And I think doing that, you know, going around the edge and just making sure it's kind of glued down there really helps. And then I also have an X-Acto knife. You guys see what I'm doing? Okay. I'm just literally, you guys, I'm just cutting out the shape. When I got up to around the stem, I didn't want that fabric, the napkin, to pull away. So I just kind of did this because I can't get in there very easily with the scissors. So I just use an X-Acto knife for that. So I just get it to where I can come back around the edge of this pumpkin easily. I see some of this came up. I didn't notice that. I'll just glue that. It kind of bent and came back up. So then you've got it like this. And so now I'm just gonna take my X-Acto knife, which is one of these. You can get them in like, you know, just like kids. You guys know what those are, right? And these are things like I don't use all the time, but they're just good to have on hand when you do need them. So I'm just going around that stem with the X-Acto knife. Push down on your pumpkin or your whatever you're doing. push down on this as you're doing this so that the napkin on the other side does not pull out as you're doing it. And don't like cut down and then pull. You want to make sure that the X-Acto knife is cutting through the napkin. Go over it a few times if you need to, because you don't want to just pull and try and tear it, because it's not gonna look good on the other side. Now, these again are, I kind of want to just do this right now because I'm here. These are things that I'm not going to be, you know, you're going to set them and forget them, right? They're just going to be like a decorative piece. There we go. I just put a little bit more glue down there and then unfolded that edge. So I don't like the way that, I don't want to put the glue on top of this because it's like a fabric-y napkin. I'm just going to leave it. You could, if you wanted to, you could use some sandpaper, like a sanding block, around the edges, and then to get like off any of the little stragglers, or like just to smooth it out. Because I see like one there and I just don't want to pull it. This one I pulled. So I'm going to show you what. I've got pieces here so I can definitely use it so you won't see it. But if you pull it, you can see right there. That happens. So I must have pulled it over there. I'm going to just do this here quick. So I will just push some glue there. It feels like that maybe there wasn't glue right there. Yeah, see how that's coming up? So I'm just putting some glue right underneath there. I'm not gonna cut it when it's wet because it does tear it more easily. So I'm just gonna put the glue there. I'm gonna set that there. And I can try and match this up, but it's not gonna be a huge deal. So I don't have to bore you guys with this part. So easy peasy. I've done, like I said, I did some, so I am boring you with this part, sorry. So I just filled that in. It's still hanging over. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna leave it. It's just gonna sit there. But it's so cute. You can find napkins and all kinds of, I really liked this one. So I want to try and find something to do. And you could do this on like an actual pumpkin too. I would just tell you to maybe cut them in strips. So it's a little bit more forgiving. But yeah, so easy peasy, right? Would you guys try this project? Super simple. This one, I'm not going to do anything with it because it's gotta dry and do its thing. So that's why I wanted to kind of do this in steps, and I'll leave that one. I am going to need to sand that edge too. I do not want to take an X-Acto knife to this because I don't want it to tear like this did. So you will be amazed. All you need is a little bit of sandpaper and just go along this edge and it'll take that right off. It'll be like the cleanest cut right there. Oh yeah, Penny, I sand the edges off when dry. Yep, you can totally do that. Okay, everybody, yes, yes. Let's see. Dollar store has great scissors for everyday stuff. We have 75 pairs of scissors around here that are great for what they're doing. But it's just so funny because I did the same thing to my mom. Hello, Jolene. I'm glad you're here. Okay, let me know if you have any questions or I'm just saying. I see somebody said West Michigan, newbie here. Hello, Cheryl. Lake Michigan is one of our favorite places to be. We would love to find a little place there someday. Oh my gosh, we go there every summer. Yeah, the green ones were pretty. So for anybody just joining, I basically, this project came about because I found these 3 sets of napkins or whatever on clearance at Target. I really liked their colors and the patterns, and I had these wood pumpkins left over. You're not going to be able to see it now. I kind of don't want to touch this. Anyway, I had some wood pumpkins left over, and so I decided to kind of make them, they were just white wood pumpkins, just to kind of make them a little bit different with the napkins. Easy, easy, easy project. Your poll for decorating for fall came up first thing. Thank you very much, Janet. So is the poll gone then now? I don't get to see any of the answers. I don't understand the polls. You don't have the tradition for decorating for autumn. I used to decorate for every holiday. Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, when the kids were little. I mean, obviously, Halloween. This year, I kind of miss decorating for Halloween. There's just a few things I've seen, and I'm like, I just kind of miss it. It'll come back, I'm sure, once we have like grandkids, or maybe I said maybe I'll just do it again next year or something. But Dollar Tree sanding blocks are cheap too, yes. No, I did not take the back off the napkin, not these. I did not. You could definitely, if you wanted to. I just like, they're thicker. And since I'm not putting, and what she means is that these napkins, I have some glue on this, so this might not be pretty when I do it. Did I take the back off? So yeah, that's where the glue is. So that's what she means, that I did not for this, but you definitely could. It's just gonna make this a lot more thinner. You definitely wanna thin your glue out a little bit more, but I didn't for these. Judy, I had these pumpkins left over from when I was doing Chalk Couture. So, but you could get, I see these all the time, and I wish I would have, I wasn't thinking, but I see pumpkin shapes like this all the time at thrift stores. They may be painted, or they may say Hello Fall, or they may say whatever on them, but it would definitely work, definitely work. You could paint the edges white or black or whatever, or of the color, that you're doing. Let's put this away so I don't cut myself. But you could definitely, paint. They will work, and you can get thinner ones. They have thin ones, thin different shapes, like at the dollar stores. I always say Dollar Tree because that's the one I go to most often. But it would be cute to do a couple of those flatter ones, and then like do them at different heights and hang them at the front door, kind of like as a welcome thing. But that's where I got my pumpkins. You could also have, somebody cut out pumpkin shapes from just scrap wood from your house, from your garage. I've done that many times. I just had these on hand, and I would have had Matt just cut them out, or I would have picked some up at the thrift store. But I had just got out our fall stuff, and then I was at Target and I saw these, and I didn't really do anything with these pumpkins, and I thought this would make them just a little bit, more fun. And it's a project to share here with you guys. So that's why I did it that way. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions? If you're watching this on replay, if you don't see the little red live there, you're on replay, welcome. I always love when you guys share these videos. I like to hopefully inspire some people to try some easy projects, but so thank you for sharing. And I will touch back in with you guys. I do have some other projects, I think, that I'll be sharing here live. But if you have questions or comments, I always come back in after the live's over and check them out. So definitely leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and it's Monday. Have a great Monday and the rest of your week.